Hi, and welcome to another edition of Right on Rangers Live. Coming at you, fourth quarter, Cheez-It Bowl. Texas Longhorns finishing out what is right now a 41-27 ball game. Looking to get the win. Arch Manning, incredible in the second half. Hook 'em, baby. We're going to finish this one out with you guys. We got, obviously, some big games coming up here this weekend. We'll talk Ohio State. We'll talk Miami. I know that game will be starting up here probably while we're doing the show, but we will highlight everything from the Cheez-It Bowl today. We'll talk offseason Texas Longhorns. Of course, we'll take all of your comments and questions along the way as we look ahead to 2026. Happy New Year, by the way. Happy New Year to all y'all. Not quite. Getting pretty close, though. New Year's Eve tonight. Hope y'all have some fun plans. We're pretty boring around here. Do a little show with you guys. Watch a little football. Stay off the roads, chill out at home. That's my kind of night, honestly. Appreciate all y'all hanging out. Thank you so much for all of y'all and your support in 2025. The show keeps getting bigger and bigger, and that's thanks to you guys, honestly. It's been a while since we've been on the live stream, man, when baseball season is not in action, and then also when we've got the Longhorns kind of in a month-long lull. The live streams get a little bit fewer, but I'll tell you what, it's great to be here today. Great to be hanging with y'all, and especially great to be talking a Longhorns win, man. Fourth quarter, 58 seconds left. 4 touchdowns from Arch Manning today, nearly 400 yards on the ground. If you were looking for something special from the Texas quarterback, you sure got it today. He really turned it on after halftime. Texas able to limit Michigan to 10 total points. I mean, look, they might get a little garbage here, but defense played great, I thought, in the second half. Great adjustments are made. Texas was honestly the more affected team with the opt-outs. I know Michigan has all the turmoil going on with Moore, obviously, being ousted and dealing with some legal issues. You know that Michigan, probably in terms of headlines, drama, takes the cake there. But honestly, the Longhorns roster more affected by opt-outs than the Wolverines were. I know that you had the interim coach for Michigan hopping on a podcast. I think it was earlier, about a week ago or so, and basically, say we might only bring 25 guys. I think that was the comment. We might only bring 25. I don't think that ended up quite being accurate, but look, Michigan fought today. They definitely fought. I think they had a lot of adversity and showed up in position in the first half, at least, to win this. And even the second half in the third quarter had some great moments. But then you just had Arch Manning and company turn it on. Good stuff, y'all. Appreciate all y'all hanging out. Thank you so much. Like I said, we will take all of your comments and questions along the way. Appreciate you guys. Good, Kendrick, if you're still hanging out, man. It was a good pick. Texas, I believe, 4.5. Was it 4.5 point favorites? It wasn't much. It was not anymore. It might have been 3.5. 3.5 or 4.5 point favorites. Michigan's going to turn it over on downs here, and we are going to see the Longhorns win this one by the score of 41-27. How about it? Pretty good crowd. The upper deck was a little bit empty, but honestly, a pretty good crowd today. Danny, what's good, man? Yeah, look, Indiana, absolutely would not mind seeing them do well. It's not like you see the Hoosiers in the CFP every year. I don't mean that as a diss, my brother, but I definitely would not mind seeing Indiana do well in the playoff. I can't say I'm cheering massively for Ohio State or Miami. I think if you saw Indiana go on a little run, I'd be here for it. I know a lot of people, a lot of Texas people might be going for the Red Raiders. I think I've told y'all my Red Raiders journey. Ever since the Graham Harrell, Michael Crabtree game back in the early 2000s, there was a point in my life as Sark gets totally doused with the Cheez-Its. Love that. There was a point in my life where I didn't mind seeing the Red Raiders do well. I can't say I'm a big Red Raider fan. That whole, I think it was 2008 matchup. Of course, you had Blake Gideon with the interception going through the legs. Would have easily iced the game for Texas. The Graham Harrell, Michael Crabtree, epic final sequence to beat the Longhorns and keep them from going to a national championship, right? It was Oklahoma that ended up going to the championship that year against Tim Tebow and the Florida Gators. Had the Longhorns pulled that off, who knows what would happen. Florida was a bit unstoppable that year, but Oklahoma got totally blasted. It would have been nice to see the Horns in that one. Anyways, bringing it all together here, it's hard for me to cheer for the Red Raiders ever since that moment. I'm just not even going to lie to you guys. But look, at the same time, you don't see the Red Raiders often in the CFP. I don't think I'm going to be too butthurt if they steal a couple of wins. However, I don't have anything personal against Oregon either. So I'm just hoping for good football. Great football, and one of the Cinderella teams winning it would be a lot of fun. Logman, what's good, brother? Rangers have announced that they aren't going to sign anyone because the owners suck. Look, you guys know how I feel about the Texas Rangers and the ownership front office debate that we've done. And we'll talk a little Rangers. Normally Wednesday is our Rangers show, but when the Longhorns play, obviously they only play once a week. And in this case, once this month until next August. So we'll talk a little Rangers here and there. I am not on the side of the ownership sucks and why don't they spend more money. I'm actually more on the side of the front office has mismanaged the money that the ownership has allowed them to spend. I put out a tweet earlier today. The Texas Rangers, over really the last year, spent $35 million on Tyler Malley and Jock Peterson. I mean, come on now. I don't know how you can blame ownership for that one. You spent $35 million in 2025 on Jock Peterson and Tyler Malley. I mean, look, Tyler Malley was phenomenal when he was on the field. I cannot say I'm sitting here stewing about the ownership at this point. I know some of y'all disagree. Matt, what's good? We are feeling the cheesiest here on the show. I woke up feeling the cheesiest, coach. Let's go. Yes, sir. Hook 'em horns, baby. We get a nice 41-27 victory today. That's what we're talking about, although I'm sure we got some Rangers fans hanging out a little bit. We got the Rangers combo, by the way, the Rangers Longhorns combo hat. Caught this earlier on in the season, actually. I think it's the first time we're debuting it here on the show. It's the little things in life. Oh, man, Arch Manning, what can you say about him today? He killed it in the second half especially. Second half especially, Arch Manning was on fire. A little bit of everything today did he feature. Great stuff from the Texas Longhorns quarterback. And isn't it great to have Arch Manning coming back for another year? I don't think there was really any doubt. I think had Arch really crushed it at the beginning of the season, you might have seen him one and done as a Texas starter. When they started off a little bit slow and when Texas didn't make the CFP, I think the writing was on the wall that Arch was going to be coming back for 2026. I'm seeing some portal talk here. Happy New Year's, by the way, BG. Happy New Year's, brother. Appreciate you. Yes, I think they will be going after quite a bit in the portal. From everything that I have seen over the past couple of weeks, it just does not seem like Steve Sarkisian is messing around at this point, and I can't blame him. There's no reason. I mean, we've talked about this a lot. If you've been hanging out, a longtime listener of the show, longtime follower, just know I appreciate you. But you know, we've talked about this often. How does the University of Texas not have, and this is no slight to Wisner, Mosley, any of the guys right now at skills positions. If you're the University of Texas, how do you not have the best of the best at the skills positions? It makes no sense to me. How do you not have one of the best running backs in the country? No shade at Tre Wisner. Love Tre. Big game rivalry boss, man. I mean, Oklahoma, A&M, you wish that guy could be playing those two teams every time because he was money whenever he was playing one of the arch rivals. Seriously. But you think back to the season, Tre was injured the first, 4 games? And then he comes back and he kind of has an up and down year, in my opinion. He finished strong, had a great game against OU, had a great game against A&M, had some nice games in between. If you're the University of Texas, how do you not have an elite running back who is, I mean, just being honest, just being real, keeping it a buck, competing for the Heisman Trophy? How do you not have a wide receiver on the level getting the hype that Jeremiah Smith is getting? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, and I think Sark has to go out into the portal this year. I know they've got some recruits coming up as well. You got to go out and you have to get guys that are bona fide superstars. It's shameful that Arch Manning does not have a bevy of weapons at his disposal. And I know that this sounds like disrespect to the current roster. I don't mean it that way. I think that a lot of the guys they have right now on the team are quality players, but it's a different standard in Austin. It's a different standard on the 40 acres. You have got to go out and you have got to get a receiver, a number one option, and you've got to get a running back. Unless you feel like what you've already got coming up in the recruiting classes is good enough, I think everything has to be on the table. And look, we're talking about skills players. I know some of y'all are already thinking about the O-line as well. I am looking forward to a revamped O-line. I think the O-line had issues, a lot of issues. I'm trying to be nice here on a day where the Longhorns beat the Michigan Wolverines in the Cheez-It Bowl 41-27. The O-line even today had some issues against Michigan. I'm looking forward to Sark revamping this O-line in the offseason. I do think that the defense, you're going to need to replace a couple of guys. Manny Muhammad declaring for the NFL draft. Of course, you've got Anthony Hill going to the NFL as well. You're going to have to replace some key positions. Michael Taff is gone. I think Texas will reload well. And I'm excited about Will Muschamp too, by the way. We haven't even talked about Will Muschamp. But we have got to solve some of those issues on offense, man. Arch has to have more to work with. I agree with this comment a lot. Got to get more discipline. Rohan, I couldn't agree more. Juan, what's good, brother? You need an elite wide receiver. I could not agree more with that. Could not agree more with it. Tristan, my guy, it is a great day to be a Longhorns fan. Manning doing it all today. 2 tutties with the ground game, 2 tutties through the air. Guy was doing it all for us today, making sure that Texas finishes the year on a winning note. Longhorns improve to 10-3. Get another double-digit win season for Steve Sarkisian. You'd love to be in the playoff. You'd love to be in the playoff right now. And Texas, I think if they were, would make some noise. Clearly, you would have had more guys stick around, not opt out. So Texas today, not at full strength. Anybody online trying to make an argument about Texas playoffs, no playoffs, based on what they saw today. Come on. I'm not seeing a lot of that, by the way, but we don't even need to go there. No one should be making an argument against Texas being in the playoff based on what they saw today. In fact, I think the opposite. Texas still takes care of business by 2 scores over the Michigan Wolverines, with a lot of guys having opted out. Very impressive. Very impressive. Keep rolling. Tyler Malley signed, yes, with the Giants. Tyler Malley, talking a little Rangers, by the way, here and there, along with the Longhorns. Tyler Malley going to the Giants on a 1-year deal. Disappointing. We really didn't get to see a lot of Tyler Malley. 19 starts over 2 years. And look, he made over $1 million a start. He started 19 games. We paid him $22 million. Not a great contract by CY. Rangers spent $35 million in 2025 on Tyler Malley and Jock Peterson combined. But it's Ray Davis's fault. Ray Davis totally at fault for wasting $35 million. I digress. I hope Wingo goes to the portal. Wingo is an interesting one, isn't he? I think that Wingo is probably going to be a Longhorn next year. And honestly, Wingo stretching the field for a bona fide number 1 elite wide receiver that maybe you pick up in the portal, that to me is the play. You need guys in that wide receiving core that can stretch the field. I would love to see Wingo stick around. You've got a deep threat guy. You've got someone that opposing defenses have to worry about. Yeah, if you got that number 1 option, of course, you're going to see a lot of attention over that way. But if you have a guy like Wingo that can stretch the field, it makes all the difference. It really does. So I'm hopeful that Wingo going to be able to stick around and make a difference for Texas next year, along with an option that they can get in the portal. Absolutely. And there's a few guys out there. I think Texas will have their eye on for sure. I know that some of y'all obviously very, very familiar with Cam Coleman. I think he is going to be a guy that Texas should look at in a major way. I know Cam is probably going to be getting a lot of attention from a lot of different places. I think Sark would be wise to throw as much as they possibly can at Cam Coleman. Get him here in Austin, man. Let's do it. Pass rushers, cornerback more important. Manny can throw it to anyone. Rudy, look, if they go that direction, I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think you have to get that number one wide receiver in order to have success next year. But I think we can all agree it's definitely not going to be hurtful to the team. Appreciate you, brother. We keep on rolling. Let's go, WU. Yes, sir. Cody, come on now, man. Hey, I appreciate respect to you showing up, brother. Respect to you showing up, brother. How about that game a couple weeks ago, man? How about that game? Let's go. Bama. Yikes. Yeah, John Mateer going to be fully healthy next year, right? That's the line I kept getting after the Bama game. Oh, John Mateer, when he's fully healthy in 2026, then it's going to be our year, baby. How about John Mateer just ain't that good? I don't know. I think we've seen enough. John Mateer, ain't worried about him. Ain't worried about John Mateer. But when the finger hurt, when the finger heals, we'll be all good, right? We'll be all good. Hey, you guys know, if you've been watching long enough, it's all in good fun. I take a lot. I try to dish it out a little bit, but I love y'all. I appreciate everybody that hangs out, especially the people, I'm telling y'all, especially when you show up after you've wore one. We had some A&M fans that were brave enough, strong enough to show up after the L in November in Austin. I appreciate all y'all. Y'all are the real ones. Y'all are the real ones for sure. Marco, praying for that too. Roman, thank you. But there's always people that are going to still say, oh, Mateer was just saying that. He's just saying that. The finger really hurts. Like they know. Come on now. Yeah, we'll see about Mateer next year. I am not really expecting Oklahoma to do a whole lot different than what they did this year. I think they might be able to make the playoff next year. I just don't think Mateer is him. I think OU ought to try to reload in a couple of different spots. I'm not an OU expert, by the way, but obviously I keep my tabs on the rivals. I'm not sure you're going all the way to a natty with John Mateer. Cody, appreciate you, brother. Yeah, look, I mean, Mateer's not horrible. He's definitely not horrible. I think he's a solid quarterback. I just don't know if you're going to a natty with John Mateer. Look, Arch, he still has quite a bit, I think, of growth still to do yet as well. I don't think Arch is done growing. I think he made a lot of great strides. I hope that in the offseason he continues to pick it up, but I think Arch needs to take that next step too. He looked great today against Michigan, and he did look great against lesser competition. When you play the big boys, when you play Georgia, when you play Ohio State, you got to be ready to go. And next year in Austin, Ohio State coming to town, that is going to be a huge litmus test of where Arch Manning is at in year 2 as a starter, year 3 contributing to this Longhorns program. Arch definitely did the most, I think, with what he could. Didn't have a great O-line. Didn't really have an elite playmaker on offense. He was the elite playmaker. I think we can all agree with that. Carnage, what's good, brother? It's always good to see you, man. It's always good to see you. Mick J, what's happening, man? Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. Happy New Year to all y'all. We keep on rolling. Big Game James, what's good, brother? What's good? Hey, the Mariners appear to be continuing to upgrade, man. Ref Snyder, I like that. I like that get. Ref Snyder was a guy I would have loved to have seen come to Arlington. I love that move. 47 days till pitchers and catchers report. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Ulysses, I woke up feeling the cheesiest, coach. Yes, sir. Anna, what's up? Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate the comment. We're talking Longhorns. We're talking a little bit of everything. A little off-season baseball. Today is a Wednesday. Happy New Year to all y'all. Appreciate you hanging out. Hey, if you haven't hit that follow button yet, what's going on? Let's do it. Hit that follow button. This is what we do every time we go live. Obviously, with football ending for the Longhorns, this is the last game of the year, and baseball still being in the off-season. The live streams will be a little bit few and far between. I try and get on at least once or twice a week during the offseason. Cowboys will be finishing up on Sunday. We will be live after that game. We'll do our final Cowboys stream of the year. By the way, if you're new to the show, new to the channel, we do Rangers, Longhorns, Cowboys. We talk a little bit of Mavs. Mavs are in a bit of a rebuild at this point, it feels like, with Anthony Davis being injured again. We haven't done a ton of Mavs talk this year, but you know what? Every once in a while, we'll throw it out there. Pretty much any DFW team, huh? I mean, we are not as big here on the show. Hockey, definitely a good casual watch for me. I pretty much love any sport, but I would not consider myself a hockey expert. I don't pretend to be. So we casually watch the Stars, and we watch a number of different teams around the league, but it's not as focused on in the show, I got to admit. Austin is an undercover Mariners fan. Big Game James, how about we say this? The Mariners are a team that I don't like, but I respect. There's a lot of players on that Mariners team that I enjoy. Of course, I get compared. I get the Cal Raleigh comps every other show. Actually, I'm not going to lie, basically every show. I'm actually shocked we haven't gotten one yet. Oh, we got some Ohio State fans showing up. What's good? Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome for today. Appreciate you guys coming and hanging out. Look, if we can't beat y'all, I guess we'll take the next best thing. We'll beat Michigan for you. Ray, what's happening, brother? What's happening? Thanks for hanging out. Hey, JF, you're welcome. JF, you're welcome. Buckeyes playing in a little bit here. Look, I have no dog in the fight. I don't really like Miami. Look, clearly I'm not a big Buckeyes fan by any means, but can we just get a good game? Can we get a good game? That's kind of where I'm at this point, honestly. Hey, Mimio, appreciate you. Thanks for the follow. Vivi, thanks for the repost. Christian, my guy, let's go Horns. Horns up, horns up. Go Canes. Big Game James, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are going for Miami today. That's not going to shock me at all. Not going to shock me at all. Other platform, Carnage, is TikTok. Well, actually, we're on TikTok. We're on YouTube, Instagram, and on X as well. A little bit of everything. A little bit of everything. Not a true DFW. We always go here like every show, Carnage. I went to Arlington High School. I grew up in the area, man. Come on now. It's because I moved away at some point. That's all right. It wouldn't be a show without you. It really wouldn't be. Appreciate you, my guy. You're not going to see Miami lose today. Hudson, with the big proclamation. Not going to see Miami lose today. Look, can we be honest? The A&M Miami game was one of the ugliest games I've ever seen. It's ugly. And I'm not just saying that because I'm not a fan of A&M. That was an ugly game, man. Pretty much, look, beyond the Bama-Oklahoma game, all of the first-round matchups were terrible. Terrible. The Bama-Oklahoma game was good. I mean, look, not if you're an OU fan, clearly, but I think you know what I mean. I don't think anybody enjoyed watching Miami A&M unless you're a Miami fan. Hudson, I'm sure you were happy. I mean, I guess the last 5 minutes of the Miami A&M game were good. True. Yeah, it was not at all enjoyable watching that. And hopefully we get some better matchups here. Texas Tech, Oregon, Miami, Ohio State. Feel like those are going to be much better. I'm glad we got an eclectic mix of fans hanging out in the chat. This is awesome. This is awesome. Went to Granbury High, born in Fort Worth, Texan through and through. left for 10 years. East Texas. Hey, I love Texas. Maybe one day I'll get back there. We'll see. I'm out in Vegas right now for all y'all that are brand new. I've been out in Vegas for about the last 15 years. Graduated college, came out here for work. Rest is history. I do enjoy it out here. Get back to Texas every once in a while. Miss it. Definitely miss it, but happy where I'm at right now. But yeah, look, Texas is it's home. It's where I grew up, and will always have a special place in my heart for that DFW area. And it's fun to be able to connect with all y'all. A lot of y'all from the DFW area, or you live there now, and from all over Texas. So that's how I get my fix. We keep on rolling. What about that missed targeting call? Gamer, no, come on. Look, if you've been watching the show, if you've been following me and the channel, you know how much I hate the targeting call. And that targeting, I mean, look, that's football, baby. If you played the game, that is football. That's not a dirty play. It's not targeting at all. I hate the targeting rule. I don't want to get on a targeting soapbox right now. They need to seriously fix the targeting rules in college football. It's ridiculous. That play that you're talking about is an amazing, incredible football hit. And that is why you should love the game. That hit is everything right about football. It's not a dirty play. I am just not a fan of, and look, I really would like to think the other way. I would say to myself, look, we'll take it, but I wouldn't feel good about it. It's not targeting. I'm sorry. That play in the first half on the tight end, I don't know his name, just a freaking awesome hit. I mean, look, I hate the targeting rule. I don't want to go on and on. I've said it enough. The biggest thing that I hate about it, last thing I'll say about this, unless somebody else brings it up later, it's not going to be easy for me to get back on. It's not going to be hard for me to get back on this. But I just strongly dislike that they eject kids out of games for this stuff too. Look, the 15-yard penalty is enough in some cases. The fact that they eject kids out of games for this targeting rule, when most of the time, in my opinion, it's incidental contact. The defender and the ball carrier lower their helmets at the same time. They happen to hit. Targeting. You're out. It's not great, man. It's not great. They got to change it. Look, that was the definition of targeting. Head or neck area, it's targeting. I agree. It shouldn't be an ejection. Look, and I want to be clear on this. I'm not arguing by the book it wasn't targeting. I think by the book it is targeting. I am just saying very vehemently that I hate the rule as it is currently played out in college football, particularly the ejections. You've got a lot of ejections happening that really affect the team in the game and also in the following game in some cases, right? I think the 15-yard penalty is prohibitive enough. Now you get a second targeting. I could see an ejection there. I think targeting needs to be limited to very dirty plays that are intentionally trying to harm the other player. I don't think incidental, you lower the head and the ball carrier lowers his head a little bit. Oh, it got him in the neck area. You're out. I just don't love it. I do not love it. Kind of explained it a little bit, but I'd love to see 15-yard penalty only, unless it is determined it is egregious or intentional. And you can kind of tell, I think, when there's head hunting going on. I really do think you can tell when that is happening. I mean, I think the launch upward, that's obviously a really tricky play. It's hard to judge intent. I would rather err on the side of not kicking a kid out of a game for a bang-bang play. If it happens a second time, maybe you go ejection there. For me, I don't want to see ejections for plays where it's a bang-bang football play. And you know what? Yes, the player maybe could have done something a little bit different, but you're not trying to injure somebody. Not trying to be dirty or trying to hurt the other opponent, the other team. That's just me. Too soft for my liking as well. Yeah, look, that is the best argument. Appreciate you, man. That is the best argument. In the NFL, they don't have this. I wish that they would just adopt the NFL version. I think that's a great point. Appreciate you. Ty, I'm with you. Look, for all of us that played the game, and look, I was a baseball guy. Some of you guys know baseball is kind of the first love for me. I love football, actually coach football right now. I got a middle school team that I coach. Played a little bit, obviously, until baseball got a little bit more serious. Played in college, real small school, but played football quite a bit growing up. And if you know the game, you understand what I'm talking about exactly. Like, this is why a lot of us love the game, these big hits. And as long as you're not head hunting, as long as you're not intentionally going out of your way to injure somebody. I mean, obviously you're going out of your way to hit somebody hard and go up and make a tackle. As long as you're not intentionally trying to be dirty, to injure somebody, I'm not ever going to be a huge supporter of the current targeting rule in college football. Guys in Texas, yes, sir. Go Rangers. Hook 'em horns. I love it. Roman, it's hard to consider the intent. It really is. Really is. That's the big thing, is you just cannot always know what a player intends. Were they trying to make a dirty play? Were they just, incidentally making that helmet-to-helmet contact? It's just so hard to tell. I'm with you on that. Congrats as Buckeyes. K-Money, you're welcome. Buckeye Nation, you're welcome. Happy to take care of Michigan for y'all. Happy. Connor, hook 'em. Hook 'em horns, baby. What a great day. Hopefully we get some more good quality football tonight. I don't have a dog in the fight. I honestly, I know a lot of y'all, maybe a lot of Longhorns people are cheering for Miami. Personally, I don't hate Ohio State enough to cheer against them. At this point, I'm kind of like, let me go ahead and just see a good football game. I'm not really going to care one way or another who wins this game. Miami going to get dog walked. That, to me, if I'm betting my hard-earned cash on this game, I'm not backing Miami. Hudson, if you're still hanging out, I'm sorry. I'm not backing Miami with my hard-earned cash in this one. And look, I say that even with the spread. We're not talking money line here. I don't think I'm taking the spread either. I think I would bet Ohio State to blow out over Miami to keep it close. Arch was 100% balling today. Look, we got some numbers on Arch. I'll try and pull them up here. I know we went blank on my layover. Y'all on TikTok can't see this, but on YouTube, Instagram, X, we got the box score and all that kind of laid over the visual here. So hang on one sec. We'll see if we can get to the box score. I don't know if y'all are even going to be able to see it great, honestly, but we'll see what we can do. Appreciate all y'all. He took a hard hit to the hip, though. Yeah, that was gnarly, man. They showed that on the sideline, right? Arch Manning and the hit that he took was gnarly. All right, here we go. By the way, you look at some of the numbers from today. Really was happy for Christian Clark, man. Clark, you guys probably got the backstory, but with Wisner backing out, you had a number of guys backing out. Clark, 105 yards on the day, had a couple of big gains, had a 22-yard gain, had a touchdown. Good for Clark, man. I'm real happy for him. Getting an opportunity in the Cheez-It Bowl. Look, we talk about this a lot. You never know when you're going to get another opportunity. And I love it for Christian Clark that he goes out and he gets over 5 yards a carry today, breaks the century mark, gets a tutty. Good for him. I don't think he is going to be the feature back next year, but it was a great showcase for him. Maybe he'll hit the portal and maybe he'll catch on somewhere else. Maybe he'll stay with Texas, but good for him. Anytime I see a guy making the most of an opportunity, it's phenomenal. The receivers today, Wingo, 64 yards, Mosley, 51 before he exited. Jack Andrews had a nice touchdown today, 35 yards through the air. Lockett, that was a beautiful pass, by the way, from Arch, but a great catch for Lockett as well. Livingston was a little quiet today. Livingston did have a pretty big drop. I thought he could have come down with that one where Arch was moving to his left. Arch put it on him right in the hands. Livingston couldn't quite come down. But he was a little quiet today compared to what he did for most of the season. McCutcheon had a little bit of a rough day at the office, didn't he? 1 catch, 4 yards. I believe he had a drop earlier, got lit up on another play. A little bit of a rough day at the office for McCutcheon. Defensively, Ty Anthony Smith shined. Phillips had a nice day, both of them with 7 solos. And you had Smith with a couple of interceptions. Good to see. Love it. Simmons had a nice sack. They really keyed in on him, but Simmons, couple of solo tackles, a sack, tackle for loss. Love that. He's a beast, man. He's a monster. Michigan finally, I think, got the memo later in the game. You might want to block this guy. TJ agreed. I do think Texas is going to go in next year, like it or not, with a lot of hype. A lot of hype. You got Arch Manning coming back, looking good at the end of this year, knocking off A&M. You beat Michigan. I think Texas is going to go into 2026. I mean, per usual, right? Texas always hyped up, always gassed up in the offseason. They're probably going to be a top 10 team in the rankings, if not a top 5 team, maybe even a top 3 team. We'll see. I will be very interested to see where they're ranked come August. If I had to guess, they will be a preseason top 3 team. At worst, preseason top 5. Keep on rolling. Appreciate all you guys hanging out. Drop a comment. If I miss it, feel free to drop it again. 100% great win to finish the year. Hey, we're going to be, Jamie, we're going to be doing some baseball talk here and there. Throw something out there, man. I'll take any comment right now. We'll do Longhorns, obviously. You want to talk a little baseball? Go for it. Go for it, man. Only 41 days till baseball season. I love that. Somebody said 47. Was that bit? I think, is it 41? Is it 47? What is it? Arch absolutely has some wheels, man. He is going to be dangerous next year. Robbie, you thinking Arch for Heisman? Okay. Okay. We'll see. I think he is going to be a favorite for sure. You go check the betting odds. I'm sure he is going to be one of the odds-on favorites. Yeah, appreciate you hanging out, man. Michigan fan here says Underwood is complete trash. He lost the game. I think you saw some moments. You saw some pieces there from Underwood, but I think he's got quite a bit to piece together in order to really give Michigan a shot next year at a bounce back and being potentially one of the teams that's in the mix for the playoff. I do think he's either got to have a really great offseason, and we'll see what Whittingham decides, right? That's going to be a big decision for Kyle Whittingham. By the way, who I think is a great hire for Michigan. I've had my eye on Kyle Whittingham for a while, being out here kind of on the West Coast. You get to see a lot of the Utah, BYU stuff. Living in Vegas here, obviously those 2 universities pretty close. So you hear a lot of Utah, BYU stuff. Whittingham, I think, is a great get for Michigan, and that's going to be one of his biggest decisions. What does he do with Underwood? I think he might move on from him. Maybe you see them keep him. There's some tools there. We'll see what Whittingham decides. Keep rolling. Pete, hook him, baby. He's got potential. Like, Underwood has potential. I know maybe my take on that comes off as overly negative, but the margin is just so thin. If you want to win a natty, it's so thin with your quarterback. You have got to have an elite quarterback to win a national championship. It's rare that you see a team make it very far without one. You have got to be really good in a number of different other areas to overcome a just good quarterback. I think you've got to have elite quarterback play, NFL and college. And so that's why we were talking about Mateer earlier. And I know that, if you're an OU fan, maybe you're just going to see this as me being a troll, being a hater. But I don't think Mateer is the guy that leads OU to the promised land. And that's not to say he's a terrible quarterback. The margin for error is just so thin. I think you've got to consider it. But we'll see what happens. The amount they paid him and the hype, he definitely didn't live up to it. 3 games with under 100 yards. All well taken, man. Points well taken. And that's tough, man. This money. Sark was talking a lot about NIL and what he has to deal with and guys asking for crazy dollars. It's kind of the wild, wild west out there right now. I am very, very intrigued to see how it all plays out with college football. Are you going to see things change in terms of stricter guidelines, rules, regulations? I think it's probably coming at some point. And it's honestly something that the politicians in Washington, D.C. are probably going to have to get together on, which, I'm sure is going to really simplify things. Like, it's definitely something I think that is coming down the road. But for now, wild, wild west, man. We'll see what happens. Appreciate all y'all hanging. Thoughts on the Diggs situation? Trayvon Diggs getting released by the Cowboys. Look, Diggs since 2021 has not been himself. And I think that the contract was definitely team friendly at the time, but let's be honest. They spent a lot of money on Tre Diggs, 40-something million guaranteed, I want to say. Like 40 mil is 40 mil. And Diggs was not an outstanding player for you after the 2021 extension. I don't think there's any way around it. And I think things had devolved quite a bit between him and the team over the course of the season. He was healthy. They weren't playing him. Then the whole thing comes down with the travel. Diggs having family in the D.C. area. The Cowboys don't allow him to stay. Diggs decides to go against the team and stay in Washington, D.C. anyways. I mean, look, I think that a lot of people are going to be giving Diggs some sympathy and maybe raising an eyebrow at the Cowboys and their decision-making there. But if what was laid out for him before they got on the plane to Washington, D.C. was, bro, you got to come back with the team. The rule is the rule. I don't think that there's a lot to feel too bad for. I mean, look, bro, worst case, you got to hop on a private jet and go to Washington, D.C. when you get back in town. I honestly feel like, they probably could have let him stay in D.C., but if it was laid out clearly to him what was going to be happening and he decided to go against the team anyways that's paying him millions of dollars, I personally feel like he probably should have got on the plane and then taken a private jet back to Washington, D.C., man. I mean, but that to me, like, low drama. Like, okay, yeah, it sucks, but I'm going to go ahead and take the high road and I'll take my private jet back to D.C. Like, I don't know. That's just me. And I know Packers signed him. Shocker. I think everybody had that on their bingo card. Probably going to go reunite with Micah. Look, honestly, and I know this is going to sound like a burn. I'm not trying to diss Tre Diggs on the way out of town, but good. I put him in the secondary in your playoff game. Do it. I don't think Tre Diggs is him anymore when it comes to cornerbacks in the NFL. I think the Packers, unless they are really hurting at cornerback, I don't know if Tre Diggs is the guy you want to throw out there. I hate to say it, but we try to give y'all the realest takes we can. It would only benefit the Cowboys for the Packers to put Tre Diggs in there. It would only benefit the Cowboys. Let me see here. Arch is staying through his senior year. I don't know about that, but I do think next year will probably be his last. That's mine. That's my take. I think next year, unless he just has another really up and down year, I don't see Arch Manning sticking around past 2026. If he's the quarterback in 2027, I will be shocked. Shocked. Keep on rolling. Appreciate you guys. Hey, thanks for the follow, Gilbert. Appreciate you, man. Anybody that's followed, by the way, on TikTok, on YouTube, on X, since we've gotten started here, thank you. Appreciate you. Talking a little bit of everything. Rangers, we're talking Longhorns. Throw something my way. We'll be happy to get to it. Spurs getting 2 or maybe 3 of the next NBA titles. Whew! That is quite the prediction. I don't know about that. I know that they look real good right now. They just beat OKC 3 in a row. It's a different beast in the playoffs. I like what I'm seeing from the Spurs. Honestly, y'all know, Mavs fan here. Been a Mavs fan for a very, very long time. Mavs, we cover a little bit here on the show. But my grandparents, rest in peace, they were huge, huge Spurs fans. And so, look, obviously they're rivals. Got a little soft spot in my heart for the Spurs. I don't say that out loud too often. It's hard to hate on what I'm seeing in San Antonio. Wemby, Castle, Fox. They've got a good squad, man. A good squad. Can the Rangers wake up? I think that they will make one splash before it's all over. Maybe I'm just eternal optimist and head in the clouds. I think the Rangers make at least one more splash before all is said and done. Brisket, hook 'em, baby. Thoughts on Diggs? Sad it didn't work out. Sad that he did not have a better ending to his Cowboys career. He had a lot of bright spots, particularly in 2021 with the 11 interceptions. But I think it was time. I think Diggs probably should have got on the plane back to Dallas. I would have gone high road there. I know it's frustrating. I know it maybe seems petty of the Cowboys to not let him stay in D.C. with the fam. If the team's saying no, if I'm Diggs, I'm taking the high road. I'm going to go ahead and get back on the plane, take a private jet back to D.C., and call it a day, man. Like, I don't know. I don't think Diggs comes out looking super flowery. I know some people are like, hell yeah, they stick it to him, man. Stay in D.C. Cowboys, I think, probably could have let him stay. I don't know. But if in advance it had already been worked out, bro, you're coming back with the team, I think he should have got back on the plane and then take the private jet back to D.C. Keep going. Wes, hook 'em. We keep on going. Diggs is a bum. Diggs, I think, to me, he absolutely could have had a much better ending to his Cowboys career than what transpired. The contract was team friendly at the time, but $40 million plus, right? Guaranteed money. It didn't work out. Did not work out. All right, y'all, where we at on time, man? We are coming up on the hour mark. Thank you, everybody that's been hanging out. Is the game started yet, by the way? Ohio State game. Are we started back up yet with that? Let's see. Yes, we are. Just getting started, ready for kickoff here in a second. Miami, Ohio State. Good stuff. If Imai comes to the Rangers, man, Brian, that would be phenomenal. I just think he's too expensive, man. I think he's probably going to get about $25 million a year. I don't think the Rangers are going to pay that. I just don't think they will. I hope they do, but I don't think they're going to. I think Texas is going to get a guy like maybe Bassett, a guy on maybe a little bit of a lower tier than Suarez and Imai. I think those guys are going to probably get paid handsomely, and I don't think the Rangers are going to be the one to do it. Hate to break it to you, brother. I wish. I'd like them to do it. All right, let me see what else I got. Want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Instagram, what's good, man? Hey, Clark, if you're still hanging out, brother, at least he says at least Arch is dedicated to a system. Not a lot of schools have that luxury. Yeah, look, Arch, I'm sure, is getting paid nice in NIL. And, of course, he has other endorsement deals. So Arch isn't too worried about money. I think anything you appreciate Quinn Ewers. Quinn could have gone to another school this year and balled out, gotten paid very, very well. Decided to stick with the legacy he had built at Texas and go to the NFL. And it all worked out for him. Quinn Ewers, I think, excellent move by him, and he ends up getting his first start in the NFL. Muschamp as D coordinator, I think, is a good move. PK, I don't think there's really a whole lot negative you can say about him. Did we get eaten up a little bit in the passing game at times this year? Yes. PK was phenomenal against the arch rivals. And even against Ohio State, you only gave up 14 points against Ohio State, man. I don't think there's a whole lot negative you can say about PK. But I do think Muschamp takes them to the next level. I really do. I think Muschamp is going to elevate them. We know he won a natty with Georgia a couple of years ago. I love Will Muschamp in the hire. Clearly, Muschamp, one of the OGs from the early 2000s. Coach in waiting. Famously, it didn't work out. Kind of wish it would have. I think that probably would have gone better than, the Charlie Strongs. And, I know Tom Herman, some people love him, some people do not. But would have been interesting to see what Will Muschamp would have done as head coach had he taken over after Mac Brown like he was supposed to. Glad he's back on the 40 acres. All right, we'll keep our eye on this Ohio State game. I'm actually going to pull this game up while we're hanging out for the last 5 minutes or so of the show. Right now, Ohio State takes over, 14 minutes left in the first quarter, so we're early on in this one. If you haven't hit that follow button, come on now. What you doing? Hit that follow button. We just hang out and talk ball. We might go live for some football moving forward in the playoff, but honestly, we'll see. Kind of depends. Right now, Sayin taking over. Do we have a... No, looks like we just had a punt here. They're at their own 24-yard line at the moment. Yeah, if we didn't lose to Florida, man, it would be crazy to see how the season be different. All right, we got the game on. We're hanging. We're chilling right now. 44, what's good? Good to see you, brother. We're just doing a little bit of everything. We're doing a little college football. We got some baseball. We were talking Diggs and the Cowboys earlier. Keep hanging out. JD, I'm going to go, if you're talking about Texas, appreciate the comment, brother. If you're talking about Texas, I'm going to go O-line. I know we were talking about the skills positions being elevated. If you're talking about the biggest thing that Texas needs to improve for next year, I'm going to go O-line. I think they need to fix the O-line issues. I'm a big believer, and I know that there are some old school football fans like me that feel the same way. I'm a big believer. You win games at the line of scrimmage. You win games at the line of scrimmage. And so I'd love to see Texas really shore up that O-line. Then everything looks better from there. Quarterback play looks better. The run game looks better. And the passing game looks better because the receivers have more time to throw. Sayin just got mauled. Speaking of time to throw, dude had a little bit of an opportunity there, but man, he got smoked. Flag on the play here. We're watching Miami, Ohio State with y'all right now. Adam, hook 'em horns, baby. Hook 'em horns. Appreciate the comment, my guy. He actually had some time. I think Sayin held the ball a little too long there. He actually had some time. Buckeye for life, man. Thank you. Appreciate you. I agree. 41-27. Beautiful score. Ohio State punting right now. We may be a little bit ahead or behind, depending on your connection. Miami's going to take over at their own 39-yard line here. Hey, at least we started y'all's day off well, right? Buckeye Nation, if you're hanging out, we tried to start your day off right with the Michigan loss. So you're welcome, and we'll see if you guys can finish the job now against Miami. I already said if I was betting my hard-earned cash, which I didn't on this game, I'm not betting on Miami. That doesn't mean that they can't make the game interesting or win it, but hard to bet against Ohio State and how they've looked all year. End of the season, great, Mark. I'm with you. Yeah, Texas, Trilla, I'm with you on that. It did look rusty. There were a lot of drops today. Like a lot of big drops today. Game-changing drops from the receivers on both teams today. It definitely looked a little rusty. The tackling for Texas wasn't great. I thought that everything on really all sides looked like they hadn't played in a month, right? Like, Niblett had a fumble. Special teams was a little bit of an adventure. The kickoffs, I thought it definitely looked like two teams that hadn't played in a month. Kenyon, what's good? Appreciate the comment. All right, 41-27 final. We got about 5 minutes left in the show. We're at the commercial right now. Miami and Ohio State still at 0-0. We're hanging out and talking through everything college football today. We've done quite a bit of back and forth on the Longhorns today, and we've also thrown in some Rangers talk. We talked about just about everything. Throw out a comment, throw out a question. You got something for me? You want to talk about something? Let it rip. Who do I think will win? I'm going to go Ohio State here. The spread, I really don't have a strong feeling one way or another if you're betting on the game, but I'm going to go Ohio State for the win here. The refs. I actually thought the refs were way too involved today. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. If that's what you're saying, I thought the refs were way too involved for a bowl game, an exhibition game, basically. It felt over the top to me. I'm not saying that there were terrible calls left and right. I just thought it was a little too ticky-tack today. Come on, man. It's the Cheez-It Bowl. It's the Cheez-It Bowl. We don't need to be calling every ticky-tack penalty. That's just me. I thought the refs slowed down the game a little bit. I mean, honestly, that game went long, and it was because of the refs, I thought. The game was way too long. All right, Miami with the ball back at their own 39-yard line here. And we got a 1st and 10, 12:49 left. We're hanging out watching the game a little bit. Henry, you were at the game? That's awesome. I was thinking to myself, honestly, I was saying to my wife too, I'm like, this would kind of be a fun game to go to. You're in Florida. You could do a little Disney World, do a little beach. I know the weather was a little bit iffy, but I'm like, man, not a bad vacay. End of December, going to Florida, going to a Longhorns game, bowl game. I don't know, man. That's kind of fun. All right, 1st down and into Ohio State territory. Ohio State got to wake up here. Miami pushing them around a little bit early. Just a little dump-off play, honestly. Carson Beck, man, I'm curious to see where Beck goes next year in the draft. I'm very, very curious. He would do himself a lot of favors having a good little run in the playoff here. Not a big Carson Beck fan at all. And man, how many times is he going to throw teammates under the bus? I feel like every other presser, I'm watching Carson Beck throw somebody under the bus on his team. Patricia. It's a good staff at Ohio State. It really is. All right, 2nd and 9. I can't believe they let Trayvon Diggs go. David, writing was on the wall with Diggs. It really was. Oh, off the hands and look, went right to number 8 of the Buckeyes, man. He just wasn't ready for it. Happy New Year, my guy. Appreciate you. Texas Carnage, why so critical, man? I feel like somebody pissed in your Cheerios this morning, brother. Calm down over there. Come on now. Hope you get a good draft. Hopefully they do get a good draft pick. It's going to help if the Packers lose. That catch, Henry, I'm with you. Number 10 on Michigan. The catch on the sideline in the end zone. I was out of this world. How he got that toe down, it was awesome. That was one of the great plays of the game. Good throw from Beck there, and we're at about the 25-yard line here. Miami looking to get some points out of this one. The field goal kicking for Miami was interesting against A&M, but I felt like it was a windy day. Not really the case here. You're playing in a dome, so we'll see what happens, but you'd think Miami at least going to get 3 out of this. Texas coming for the world? Joseph, I hope so. Hey, hope y'all have a great New Year's Eve, man. I don't have a whole lot of plans besides watching football. At one point, man, in the 20s, I'm in my 30s now. In the 20s, I like to go out and have a little bit more fun. Now, I just like hanging out, staying off the roads, watching football, man. I know some of y'all are probably doing the same. Whatever you're doing, hope you stay safe. We're hanging out for a few more minutes, watching Miami, Ohio State. 2nd and 6 right now, a little less than 10 minutes left in the first quarter. Appreciate the likes, man. If you haven't hit the like on the stream yet, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Tap the screen a couple of times if you're on TikTok. Appreciate all the follows today. Third down here coming up. This will be a big stop for Ohio State. Ohio State, man, 12-1 on the year. Miami, 11-2. Ohio State, you had the loss to Indiana. That's about the only blemish. They've looked really good otherwise. Waiting for some moves from the Rangers, bro. Luis, you and me both. I really do think there's going to be some uptick in the action after the New Year's holiday. I would be really, really surprised if we don't see a number of moves, a flurry of moves in the first week after New Year's. Maybe not from the Rangers, but I think things will start heating up. Looks like Ohio State forced a fumble here. That is a huge play. Looked like you were at least going to get 3 points if you're Miami. That is a huge play from the Ohio State defense. Good stuff. And look, or bad stuff, I guess, if you hate Ohio State. Oh. If the Rangers, man, if they could just make one big splash, Luis, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. I don't need them to go out and spend buku bucks, but could we at least get one splash move? That would be nice. Appreciate all y'all hanging out. Hey, we're over an hour. We're going to wrap things up. Go watch the rest of this Ohio State game. Enjoy the new year. Hope you guys do as well, man. Thank you again for everybody that liked the show, followed, everybody that commented at some point today, man. I really appreciate you guys. Texas, they get the win. 41-27. Arch looking pretty good. Wreck them. We'll see how Texas Tech does against Oregon tomorrow. Isn't it tomorrow? We'll see. See how that one goes. Oregon's going to be a tough opponent. Texas Tech's looked real good this year. One of the best teams in the country. Let's see how they do against a fierce opponent in the Oregon Ducks. I will definitely be tuning in for that one, 100%. Hey, y'all have a blessed New Year's. Appreciate all y'all for hanging out. We'll enjoy the rest of this one. We'll see if Ohio State can get it done against Miami or vice versa. And then, of course, we'll be watching the rest of the weekend as well. Nice one against Michigan, giving the SEC a good... Dylan, thank you. Respect to you. Anthony, appreciate you too, brother. Hey, hope all of y'all enjoy New Year's, man. Texas wins 41-27. Oh, what? We got crazy numbers now on TikTok? What are we doing here? Maybe I need to hang out for a little bit longer then. All right. Y'all convince me. We just got like a crazy bump here. Thanks for all y'all hanging out. We obviously finished out Texas 41-27. Now we are watching Ohio State, Miami. We'll hang out with y'all for a little bit. Bob, thank you, my guy. Appreciate you. Oh, my gosh. Appreciate you. I think I just sent an invite to you, Rain. Feel free to go against if you don't want it. Bob, Houston Texans fan, huh? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, brother. Hey, y'all got a good squad this year, though. It's a good, 8-game win streak now? We'll see how y'all do in the playoff. Keep on rolling. Appreciate all you guys hanging out. YouTube, we're going to cut it. We'll see y'all next time. I'll probably be back on at some point next week if I had to guess. God bless.